Top of the morning, top of the morning, top of the West Coast morning. Anyway, I know it's about almost 1 p.m. over there in Colorado, Bob.
Oh, yeah.
Deals going down on the deadline day. First, the Dallas Cowboys with whoever Logan Wilson is, you see right below me. And then now we're getting reports of Quinnen Williams from the Jets coming over for a first-round pick. I mean, I gotta say, I'm just saying it gives me a little bit of hope. Like Logan Wilson, I was like, yeah, Jerry, you said you did a trade. Okay, we're all good. We know how you get down and everything. But now with Quinnen Williams, I mean, he did say he had a couple of trades. Jerry standing on business.
Yeah, it's let me tell you, I don't Cowboys world right now has got their jaws got to be on the ground right now, man. I did not think for the life of me that he would give up one of those ones. Now, did he give up the one that Green Bay gave us? I don't know. If he was smart, he did. But at the same time, a one is now out of the house from next year, or the upcoming draft, which is fine because this guy is actually worth a one, if I'm being honest. I don't know what else came with it, but Logan Wilson, I was a little upset about. Logan Wilson, I think, had been recently benched by Cincinnati in favor of the guy that's really been taking away his snaps. So I didn't really feel happy about that, but we only gave up a 7 for that guy. So that's still a win. If this guy comes in and does anything at least halfway better than what our linebackers are doing, along with Overshown next to him, I think this could be okay, man, especially for the price we paid.
Well, let's get to the first things first. Cowboys acquired initially. We heard the news break this morning. I just shared, wasn't really nothing to talk about. Cowboys acquired linebacker Logan Wilson in a trade with the Bengals. I mean, my whole thing is I heard this guy was benched over there in Cincinnati. However, the Dallas Cowboys acquired veteran linebacker Logan Wilson in a trade with the Cincinnati Bengals, per Ian Rappaport. That's on today. Cincinnati later announced Wilson, a 6-year pro, requested a trade out of Cincinnati after his snaps were slashed earlier this season. Now he lands in Dallas to help an equally struggling defense turn things around. A third-round pick in 2020 out of Wyoming, Wilson grew into a sturdy starter in the middle of Lou Anamaru's defense. Don't give me the massacring people's names this morning. Reliable tackler who was stellar in covers. A linebacker generated 11 interceptions, 6 forced fumbles, 25 passes defended, 5.5 sacks, 541 tackles. I mean, shit, that all sounds great because that's a little bit more than what we're getting right about now currently, Bob, right? I mean, looks like we might get some value out of Logan Wilson. A 7th-round pick for some help.
It's great. It's great. Listen, and I know this isn't going to be a monster impact this season. I don't think. I think it's going to help us get a little better. But what really realistically this could do is it could really save us time in a way that we can maybe get to the playoffs with this team right now. I don't really think we should be worrying about that this year. But if we really want to worry about the playoffs, then these guys can get us closer to that because all we needed was 25% better of a defense in some way, shape, or form. Now, are these two players going to stop every run and every pass? No, because we still have safety and corner issue. But what this is showing is that on a season off season, or actually the middle of the season, where Jerry didn't say shit about being all in like he did in the past, he actually is all in right now. And it's super surprising to me, man. Not so much Logan, but Quinnen giving away a 1. And they probably had to talk him into that, if I'm being honest. But regardless, it happened, man. And that could bring us out of some bad situations with the upcoming teams we're about to face. Minus the Las Vegas Raiders. We got some tough players, some tough teams that we got to play up here soon. So,
well, I guess Max Crosby is crossed off the list when it comes to trades. I'm glad to hear that. I mean, I know Quinnen Williams' name was attached in the last 48 hours. I had been hearing that coming from the Jets. I mean, the Jets are on a fire sale right now, Bob. They let Sauce Gardner go to the Colts.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's really crazy, man. I didn't even know that, if I'm being honest. You just told me that. I didn't know. I had no idea.
Yeah. I just heard that Sauce Gardner from the Jets was traded. I was like, damn, looks like the Jets are on a fire sale. But yeah, here it is. Let me get up the link here.
We could have used Sauce Gardner.
Yeah, we definitely could have used Sauce Gardner. We definitely could have used some Sauce Gardner. But in other news, Jets trade Sauce Gardner to the Colts for 2 first-round picks. I don't know. Would you gave up 2 first, though?
No, not for Sauce. No, probably not. That's crazy. They're close. They're just so close. They have no problem doing that.
Up either. Giving up 1 for Quinnen is just fine with me. But yeah, that's in other news. So yeah, the Jets are on a fire sale. But good news, Cowboy fans, especially after yesterday. I mean, Throw in the white towel. Jerry's saying, yeah, we got trades on the table. Deadlines due tomorrow. You going to watch and see Jerry standing on business. Look, it gives me a little hope with Quentin Williams on this defense. And the only other hope beside of that was like Demo coming back. Good thing we're going into the bye week. We got 2 weeks before the Cowboys play again on Monday Night Football. Y'all believe we went on Monday Night Football to Monday Night Football? Bob, you all right over there?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I just figured I thought maybe you might have fell out the chair because I told you I would fall out the chair, and I'm falling out the chair. I fell out the chair this morning when I seen the news about Quentin Williams and I'm like, hey man, it's time to go. So shout out to Kels with the intel. She couldn't make it. She was tied up on some personal things, but I wanted to strike while the iron was hot. Cowboy fans, let us know, how are you feeling after yesterday's loss with the news on Logan Wilson and also now Quentin Williams adding to this defense? I seen somebody made a comment, Bob, that it kind of makes sense. Eberflus likes to run a 5-man front. So now with Quentin Williams and, everybody else we got going on up there with, Kenny Clark and those guys. That's pretty big bubbles up there now. And Solomon Thomas, like that's a pretty, it seems good on paper now.
Yeah, and I think right away when I heard Quentin's name, I think I assumed he was a defensive end, and then I realized, okay, well, he's a DT. That's fine. But we've got to feel really good. Honestly, man, we could take some good stuff away from that horrible game last night, especially Jadeveon Clowney, especially Eazy-E. So when we're talking about having to have a stronger unit, I think having this guy on the defensive line is going to make other people want to play better. I don't know that getting a high, there's only a few DEs out there right now that are like Micah, that are like Trey. There's only a few of them, and they're going to cost an arm and a leg. I think what we're realizing right now is that we're probably going to go to the draft for that position, but we've got some guys that are massively serviceable right now. So in order to shore up that defensive line, in order to stop getting gashed over and over again, this is a great move, and I still have a lot of faith in what Jadeveon did last night at Eazy-E. I think there's some hope, man. There's some shine that on this team that can really be brought out with what just happened.
Well, here it is breaking on NFL.com. We got trade deadline going down today. In case you did not know, November 4th is the trade deadline. 1 p.m. on the West Coast, 4 p.m. on the East Coast. A lot of deals going down, but a couple in Dallas bolstering this defense. Now, I know a lot of people are saying, what about our secondary? What about our secondary? Look, man, it's not enough pieces really to go around. We're really literally doing deals with other teams, not trying to go grab people, which essentially not on the free agent market right now. It's not a lot of healthy folks that we could acquire and add to this team. I still think we're some pieces away, especially in the secondary after looking at Duran last night. Duran was getting work, but you gotta take the good with the bad, Bob. Jerry standing on business. He did say he had a couple more trades in his bag.
Yeah, and my bad not being able to make it last night. I was up at 3 a.m. today, man, doing a bunch of stuff in the morning, but I really wanted to get on last night and point out some positives in some really negative play last night. Dak didn't do what he could have done, but that was really more so because the line was failing him. There was a lot of weird stuff last night, man. The juju of those guys beating us all the time was definitely in full effect, but there was a lot of good stuff to take away from it, but just not in the safeties or the corners area.
Hey, man, I was just wondering, like last night while I was going to bed, like, yeah, man, it got like a long 2 weeks, and it don't matter what kind of people we get tomorrow. It's going to be a long 2 weeks. It's going to be a long going into the bye week. Everybody else is playing. They're going to talk about the Cowboys all week. They're going to talk about them all week leading up to another Monday Night Football game on Las Vegas. Like, think about that, too. As bad as this defense is, that's why we going on prime time, Bob, because, it looks like Ashton Jeanty. Well, I don't know with Quentin Williams now. Right. Ashton Jeanty still could have a banner night on Monday Night Football when the Cowboys are due to come out in week 11, I believe that is. Yeah, week 11 in Las Vegas. I'll be there, but I won't be at the game because them tickets are sky high.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. And I think it's a pretty interesting little situation because you get these guys right before your bye week. So starting off in a couple days, they're going to start grinding out a little bit. Then we'll have a full week to get those guys acclimated to the playbook, what they're going to need to do. So it's a pretty smart little situation. It's lucky for us that we had a bye week right after this trade deadline. It doesn't, I think that stuff's kind of random with us, but it's really going to help us out because we're going to probably get a little healthier. And again, if we just get to 50% of a good defense, we're good. I'm really starting to worry a little bit about this offense, though, man. I think if Javonte had a little bit more time on the ground last night, he could have reached that 175. Man, he was booking.
Yeah, man.
That
That was
that
the only
fumble
thing
was
working.
tough.
That was the only thing working on offense, literally.
Yeah, and I think so we've got some good stuff going. I really honestly think, if you think about it, man, when you've got another side of your team that you can't control that is doing really bad, it makes it really hard for you to continuously do good. And not having a good defense was eventually going to wear on this offense, and it did last night, man. And it's a damn shame.
Well, I mean, are we better today than we were yesterday? I don't know, but I'm happier today than I was yesterday with the addition of Quinnen Williams. So if you're just tapping in, the Cowboys initially first before the trade deadline today was involved with Cincinnati. They dealt Logan Wilson. He wanted to be traded, a linebacker out of Cincinnati. And then also the Cowboys double back and circling the block with Quinnen Williams from the Jets. Like I said, the Jets are on a fire sale currently. They already traded Sauce Gardner to the Colts. And now we see the Dallas Cowboys for a first-round pick and a second in 2026 going to the Jets for Quinnen Williams to try to be able to stop the run. Because coming into that Vegas game, Bob, that's going to be the whole thing. That's all Vegas has is Ashton Jeanty, essentially. I mean, I think they even traded Jacoby Myers, their receiver, or something like that too as well.
Yeah, it's going to be a challenge if we don't have these guys. These guys are going to help us a little bit. Again, if the true remedy for stopping our offense is to just throw on our defense, then this move isn't really helping us in a big way. Because Bland is going to continue to get burned. He's going to be he's a fish out of water in this system. And again, I don't want everyone to think that I'm blaming the coach or the players. It's both of them. I mean,
well, maybe this front seven, maybe this front five, we hear Eberflus likes to run. Maybe that pressure now on Geno, because we know Geno loved to throw some picks. I think he led the interception at one point, but maybe we're getting some pressure now on some quarterbacks like we was initially out that game last night. But they're going to have to do it consistently. And yes, John Kubert's tapping in, brings up a great point. These moves aren't to make a playoff Super Bowl run this year. People got to understand this. But hey, it's deals done before the deadline. I'm just happy that Jerry actually came through with what he said he was going to do. After we heard George Pickens say that maybe Jerry got a couple more trades in his bag. And then in the last 48 hours, he came out and told us, wait and see. And I'm like, yeah, Jerry, y'all know, our whole new slogan here, Bob, is you can show us better than you can tell us or prove us wrong. There it is. Prove us wrong, Jerry.
Yeah.
And Jerry making moves before the deadline. So, I mean, we can't have our cake and eat it too. We could never have two things that match in Dallas. But I'm a little happier today with the addition of Quinnen Williams on the defensive side, only because I know going through this bye week, Bob, we're going to get some key pieces back. Maybe DeMarvion Overshown, who I was thinking was going to be back before week 12, because after week 11 versus the Raiders, our schedule is really tight. We got the Eagles, Kansas City. I mean, because you think about the quarterbacks that have torched this defense. But if we're getting pressure on these quarterbacks like Hurts, Mahomes, and Goff, I mean, those three games, week 12, 13, 14, yeah, this is going to be a pregame here in Las Vegas if the Cowboys could get a dub and maybe put together some things defensively. And it's going to be a great test, especially against that rookie that I drafted in two of my fantasy football leagues in Ashton Jeanty. And he ain't been doing too well. But I know, I've been telling y'all players going off on this defense, so who knows? But I'm happier today than I was yesterday. That's my overall feeling on the two trades before the deadline. And we still got an hour to go. So we're almost at 12 noon here on the West Coast. We still got till 1 p.m. before it's done and done. But the Cowboys have already gave away a 7th-round pick for Logan Wilson and also a 1st-round pick and a 2nd-round pick in 2026 for Quinnen Williams. They're trying to make some moves. I mean,
something's happening. Yeah.
It ain't Max Crosby. It ain't Myles Garrett like everybody was saying this and that. But, some Cowboy fans still feel we could put it together after the bye week and go on an 8-game win streak. Bob, you believe that?
I think if we picked up a corner and a safety along with a linebacker and a defensive tackle, then yeah. But as it stands, no, because it doesn't matter. If all they have to do is start throwing the ball, then that's what they're going to do. But here's the good thing. The good thing is Quinnen's 27 years old. Logan's 29. So they're still in their 20s technically, and all the other end of that. And the fact that the guy Logan's getting a second chance, I think may be a good thing. We understand how it is for a lot of players, man. Once you go to another team and realize, shit, this may be my last shot at getting a contract, then you start playing better. And so I think we might, hopefully we see the good end of that. which is what happens a lot of times when you leave a system, a team gets drafted or a player gets drafted by a team, doesn't like how it worked out for 4 years, wants to go somewhere else. They wind up doing better, especially if they're in a defense that's more to their patterns and the way that they play. So I think this is good, man. We didn't overpay for old players like we used to do. This is all the marks of a new regime, it feels like, except for the fact that Jerry's still our GM.
Well, I'm just happy Jerry's kind of standing on business because, I mean, there's one thing to get, lip service, which we get a lot of out of the Star in Frisco, especially from Jerry, because we all know Jerry ain't never met a microphone, hit it, and then they caught him walking on the field last night, asked him about it. Then they asked him and pressed him in the post-game conference last night if you actually took time to look at it. And he's still saying, yeah, we're in wait and see. And I'm like, typical Jerry, always up to the deadline and then nothing. And then I was expecting to hear, well, we put some trades in, but those teams didn't accept. But Jerry went out and got a couple of key pieces on defense. I don't know about Logan Wilson because I heard, like he said, he wanted to trade out of Cincinnati. We know the Cincinnati Bengals, I think, is like the second worst defense in the league. Now he's going to the worst defense in the league. I don't know how much difference he's going to make because I heard his playing time got cut short. But maybe Eberflus, maybe anything can help at this point because you've seen the stats. I'll put the link down in the comments below. Y'all let us know, how do you feel tapping in here today on the trade deadline Dallas news about the additions on the defensive side of the ball? Bob, you was over there cooking a chicken or something when I hit you up.
Yeah.
Hey, let's go. What you over there cooking up today, man?
I got some chicken and some rice and some broccoli, man. Just getting my protein in for the day, man. And I had a long ass day. But as soon as you said we're gonna jump on, I was like, all right, hold the chicken. I got to cook it through, and now it's just chilling. I'll get back to it later, man.
I didn't expect to go live. I didn't plan on going on live today. No Victory Tuesday. I was in the, kind of in my feelings a little bit like, damn, this is a long 2 weeks. Like, how am I, especially shout out to all my content creators out there. Y'all know winning is good for business, but when you lose, you really got to get creative to keep Cowboy fans happy because, their attention span is about 5 minutes. But anyway, as I digress, I feel a little bit better now going into the bye week because now we're going to hear some news about players coming back off injury like Demo, and that we'll start to scrub down the practice report list as it begins to come out this week, Wednesday. Hopefully, Kels will be back on track. We know she's had some difficulties over there, so we got big respect for her. We know she couldn't tap in here today, but we had to strike while the iron was hot, and we wanted to make sure everybody was updated. So let us know, how do you feel in the comments below? Do you feel better than you did yesterday?
It's one of those things as Cowboy fans, we're pretty impatient, and I'm an impatient man overall. So we want to see results right away. We got to know that doesn't happen, but this is pushing us towards the area of getting some of this stuff resolved. Again, like someone said, this is not a move for us to be a Super Bowl team this year. It's not going to happen.
John Kubert with some more context right there for you. Bobby says these additions also help the secondary, hopefully by causing some pass rush. Yeah, that's what I said. Maybe now, if Eberflus gets this front five, we're hearing that maybe he likes to run, that gets more pressure, which gives the DBs more time to not get burned and anticipate, picking off some passes or something. But you're right, John. Thank you for tapping in here today. That's definitely good news.
I still can't believe the Jets took Mozzie Smith, if I'm being honest, man. But you know what?
Hey,
He's a young kid. They maybe he does well there. That's the way it goes sometimes, man. We're talking about the same thing. Maybe someone who just can't thrive here is going to thrive somewhere else because they finally get a fire lit under their ass.
Yeah. Hey, man, if you're happy that Mozzie Smith is gone, because I know a lot of Cowboy fans was on Mozzie Smith's helmet. I mean, it was on his helmet bust on his helmet. If you're happy Mozzie Smith is gone and not about anything else today, just like the video and let us know you're tapping in, because I know a lot of fans were unhappy. Ray the OG's tapping in, says, I am shocked, to be honest. A good linebacker in Quentin Williams, it will help immensely. They will not only help the defense, it can also help the offensive line. Better competition in practice. Hey, there's some context from the OG, which will make the O-line better blocking. I agree. But Cowboys we're in the bye week and we're still talking about trying to put some shit together. I mean, we got a losing winning streak. We have had no win streak. We've lost one game at home now. We got handed our ass last night on Monday Night Football by the Arizona Cardinals. Yeah, the 2-5 Cardinals that were 5-game losing streak. And everybody always got to set a record on Dallas. But this gives me a little hope going into the bye week to give me something really to look. I had nothing to look forward to. But now Quentin Williams gives me a little hope, Bob.
So here we go. I was trying to work out the numbers of this. It looks like Quinnen was signed a 4-year, $96 million contract that included $66 million in guarantees, signed through 2023 with the Jets. The deal averages $24 million per year and runs through 2027. As of 2025, his contract with the Cowboys and his salary cap hit is set to increase in the final 2 years. So that's big, but it's not $48 million Micah Parsons big. It's half that price. Which for the same value, basically. So if you do the math, if you were able to pull that off in Madden, which you probably would have gotten a lot more in Madden, I think, than 2 firsts, that would have been a win. But to be able to get this guy in the situation that we have him in with the money is even bigger for us, because we didn't want to go to salary cap hell through all of it. And it looks like we're not. We're going to pay him $24 million as opposed to the 41 that would have been commanded by Micah.
Yep, that NFL correspondence link is in the comments below. So if you're just tapping in, if you're just waking up, if you're just trying to get over the loss from yesterday, there is a bit of good Cowboys news today. Jerry did say he had a couple of trades. Jerry did come through. This is the most I think we've seen the Cowboys do off season and up to the trade deadline. And I can last remember, Bob, what about you?
Yeah, we don't seem to be making this big splashy things, man. But the other thing I want to point out too is the fact that moving away from Mozzie will take a little bit of money, give us a little bit of money back too, especially if they're picking that up. I don't know the specifics of that, but getting rid of Mozzie and getting rid of his money really is a big thing. So hopefully that was taken care of. But yeah, these big splashes, man, we don't necessarily get them. We normally, like I swore to yesterday in the pregame, man, we sit on these first rounders. We do our drafting, and then we pay kids small amounts of money and then give them large amounts of money if they pay.
We never talk the talent on the front end and remove all the money on the back end. But William Brown is bringing in some context. How you going to get a linebacker from a defense that's just as bad as ours? That's what I said. I think the Bengals is second to worst, and then we're the worst. I said, I don't know how much difference he's going to make, but I looked at his stats, and I shared that link down in the comments below. It looks better than the stats our defense got now because we just giving it up. Every time a team is on offense, it's like first down seems like every other play, Bob. Like They just move like that. I think I seen something with the Cardinals. They have not had any 74-yard drive plays or something like that, and then they had 2 of them against the Cowboys. And I'm like, it's always against the Cowboys. But you're right. Yeah. The jury's gonna be out, William Brown. The jury is gonna be out, but it's not just this one guy, like we heard Shotty talk about. It's not just one guy on defense. This unit and Eberflus, which I don't know who still has a job. They're going to have to find a way, and I'm still just going to give it up to them. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt until we get boots on ground out there in Las Vegas on week 11, Bob, because, they're a pretty bad team, and we beat bad teams. And so if we beat them, then I'll even feel really better, because after that, them next 3 games, we're really going to find out how this team is built and how this fan base is built.
And even on paper right now, Deron Bland is the only cornerback we have on this team. And I don't care what anyone says about what Elam might have done in his life, what Bridges might have done in his life. Those dudes suck. They really, really suck. And they are not doing anything to better this team. So Bland is out there on an island back there with defensive backs and safeties that aren't doing a damn thing. He's getting burnt because he's probably frustrated because he's a little bit of a step behind now after that injury. So honestly, the only way for us to truly start becoming a contender in any way is making sure that safeties and corners are stronger on our team. And that's not going to happen this year. It's going to happen in the draft. And
this
maybe
could be
somewhere.
just a move of many moves, as we've seen Jerry move the line a little bit, maybe not enough, right, for a playoff push, making a serious run. Tim Figgs brings in some great context, says building for next season. I still like that. We still have another first-round pick. We still got money in the bank. We didn't give up a whole lot to get some of the key additions here today, or should I say addition with Quinnen Williams. We'll find out what Logan his value is here. But yeah, you bring up a great point, Tim, because I was thinking, we do a little bit here, make sure the fan base stays, kind of, hey, like I feel right now to carry us through the bad times. And then, we'll finish out the season, probably not make the playoffs. The Eagles will win the division back to back, and then we'll go into the draft, and then we'll really go get a lot of defense, and then we'll be right back August of next year saying it's our year.
Yeah. Yep. It definitely feels like that. Again, I've been feeling that since we flipped the entire coaching staff. I knew that we've been on a rebuilding situation. We just don't want to believe that. because we were winning. We were winning at one point. We were doing good things. Our offense looked positive. But again, I don't know. Let's see. In a couple of weeks, like I said, the test is going to be Vegas because they're going to run all over us. They're going to try and run all over us. So that'll really kind of show us what we've got in that situation. But when we start talking about playing people like Detroit, who have a great quarterback with ridiculous wide receivers and monster running backs, that's going to show us exactly what we still are, which is not really a good team. So until we're able to shore up cornerbacks and safeties, we're still 2 pieces away from becoming a decent team.
Shout out to Jay Nichols. If you see the profile picture here on Built Different Group, Jay Nichols is our October Gym Rat of the month. A whopping 64% win rate on last month's crazy picks in the NFL. If you're doing weekly picks, you know this has been a crazy week. But he says if we lose to the Raiders, I'm crying out loud. Literally, like, if we lose to the Raiders, like, it's just over. Like, throw the white towel in, because then we've got Philadelphia, Kansas City, Detroit, Minnesota, Chargers, Washington, and then the Giants for the last 2 NFC East games. I mean, if the Cowboys, one could dream, if we were to upset the Eagles in week 12, do you realize we still have a chance to win in this division?
Yep. It's kind of stupid. I don't know if that ties
as bad as this season is right now. We could lose to the Raiders. We could beat the Eagles, because it's a crazy year, right? I mean, Carolina beat Dallas and Green Bay. Anything can happen. We don't want to hear that shit. All the Cowboys, this and that. Like, it's a week-to-week league right about now. But we could literally lose to the Raiders and beat the Eagles and still be alive for the NFC East. That's something to look forward to, right, Bob?
It's crazy, because the Eagles don't have easy games coming up either. I think they have at least Detroit, right? And another division, or Green Bay. I don't know. They got 2 teams that they're about to play that are not going to be very easy games for them, considering that they're still good. But I don't know. I think Jerry does a good job making sure that we stay in here, man, and stay committed, stay on the boat. Don't try to go to shore. We stay on the boat. And this is a great attempt at what he does, and he's going to do it, because we're going to stick around during this bye week and give it another shot. We're going to wait and see if we beat the Raiders. But again, if we lose to the Raiders in the same way that we just lost to the Cardinals, this entire fan base is going to go exactly what they did this morning. Basically, screw Dallas. I'm done with it this season.
But believe it or not, it's not over. It looks like it's over. It feels like it's over. It's literally not over yet, William, because Joe brings up great context. Eagles next 3 games: Green Bay, Detroit, and Cowboys. So we can still catch the Eagles. Like I said, we can lose to the Raiders, beat the Eagles. I mean, we're number 2 in the division right now. We beat the Eagles week 12. They're the leader.
What Washington doesn't seem like they're going to move the needle either, because of that unfortunate injury, man.
I'm a realist. I don't think it could happen, but after this season, anything literally could happen. I mean, we could see a total flop of this team after the bye week. Anything could happen. Or we could see a total tank, and then we go down, and the Cowboys, because the Cowboys have only had 3 number 1 picks overall in the history of the franchise, Bob.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
One could wish. I mean, how many has Chicago gotten in the last 10 fucking years?
Yeah. That's true.
Jay says, if we lose to the Raiders and beat the Eagles, I'll wipe my tears and smile. You and me both, brother. Anything could happen. Literally. I mean, remember they were talking about Green Bay Super Bowl bound. Green Bay is a Super Bowl favorite. I mean, they lost to Rico Dowdle and Chuba Hubbard too. Well, we lost to Rico. They lost to Rico and Chuba.
Yeah, I'm feeling a little bad about Javonte too, man. Like, I feel like I heard one of the reasons why he was moved on in Denver is because he was a fumble guy. He did have some fumbling issues. He does it this year. Although this may be his second.
I think his second one. I think he's fumbled twice now.
Yeah, that's the
other
thing.
Fumble was Miles Sanders, I believe.
That's a thing, man, for sure. We still have the opportunity, I think, for Miami's fire sale. We might be able to get a Minkah Fitzpatrick or another safety to try and help keep the corners in place. I don't know, man. There's stuff that we can do, but I feel like we did it already.
We still got literally about 49 minutes before the trade deadline. Mr. Terminator on YouTube, appreciate you tapping in. Shout out to all my YouTube subs. I know I don't give y'all enough love. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? But I hope y'all like the shorts over there we putting up. We appreciate everybody moving the shorts around on YouTube. He says, well, they say Minkah Fitzpatrick may still be in play before the deadline deal. So if we got some secondary help too, I mean, already you got Logan and Quentin. Now we get some secondary. I mean, Jerry going above and beyond. He didn't say not one, not two, but three. So we'll see. We got 50 minutes left.
If we get a safety or a corner in free agency, I'm officially going to jump back on the hopeful bandwagon. I'm a monster realist. You know this. I'm sure most folks are just done hearing me say the opposite of what they want to feel with their heart, but I've been alive too long to buy into it. But if Jerry decides we're going to go for a safety or a corner right now, that kind of shows me that he wants to do something now, which I don't feel like these two moves are like most of us are saying. This is sort of a move for the long haul.
This is just something that we've done to appease us. Like I said, I'm the most diehard fan, and I was expecting us not to do nothing. I had told y'all we ain't fitting to make no trades. But I was fitting to be wrong, and I don't mind being wrong as long as my team benefits, and especially maybe if the front office might be listening by some chance to say we're going to prove that guy BG wrong. He don't know what he's talking about. Sure, let's do it as long as it makes the team better. But if you're just tapping in, the Cowboys first traded a 7th-round pick for Logan Wilson from Cincinnati. We know there's some issues there, but if you take a look at his stats, he's got more currently than the Dallas Cowboys have on the side of the defense when you're talking about pass rushes and pressures and all that type stuff. And then everybody knows who the big fella out of New York is, Quentin Williams. We gave up a first and I think a 2026 second in order to get him. So Jerry peeling off one of those first-round picks, adding to the defense, but we still got about 45 minutes before the trade deadline goes. But these are the two big splash, well, maybe one big splash and a little drip.
Yeah, and Quentin's a badass dude. This is a guy. Now, here's a guy. This is a guy that like really can do some can do some great things for us, man. And again, Kenny's a little older. You know, it seems like he physically looks a little older too, Kenny Clark. So when we got him, I thought that was sort of just like, if I'm being honest, Kenny Clark was the Mozzie Smith of that trade. You know, and I don't want to say that Kenny Clark was Mazzy, but you know, at the end of your career, you start looking like a bad player at sometimes. But again, add to the fact that we've got Overshown coming back, who I hope can just stay healthy for the rest of the season. That dude does some crazy shit when he's on the field that most people his size don't necessarily do at that position. So if we pick up, you know, if we get a safety or a corner, I'm going to start feeling a little weird, man. Like, damn, Jerry might just be wanting to get in all in right now.
I mean, because you think about it, Micah, let me stop. Trayvon's on the IR. Trayvon's on the IR for 4 weeks as we've seen him in a hoodie. And
hold on. You were just about to say Trey's name, and you said Micah instead. That's funny. That's funny considering they're both.
They're two birds of a feather. They fly together.
That's funny
anyway,
stuff.
like I was saying, he's going on the IR, and with the bye week, I mean, it's not like we're really missing Trayvon that much in the secondary. So I mean, we still got Deron, we still got Revo coming back, got Dono back there, like Mr. Terminator says here on YouTube. Now with Overshown, Revel, Dono, Hooker coming back after the bye, plus with Williams and Logan Wilson added, we are not losing to the Raiders. I didn't think we'd lose to the Cardinals at home, but we did. And at this point, we're capable of losing to anybody. But, yeah, I would feel good about winning against the Raiders and then kicking off that 3-game stretch between the Eagles, the Chiefs, and the Lions. That's going to be the gauntlet, bro, because we've seen what Caleb Wilson has done. We've seen what Jacoby Brissett has done. We've seen what all these lower tier quarterbacks have done, and now we're getting ready to face the league's best.
Yeah, the end of the stretch is tough.
Super Bowl champs, defending Super Bowl champs, week 12.
And by the way,
Kansas City, week 13.
If for any reason you thought, if for any inclination that you thought a team was going to lose out for a better draft position, and you thought the Cowboys were that team this year, now you got to think again. You've got to think again. We are not planning for the draft right now. That we've got stock for it. We're good. We still have our 1. We still have our 2. We've got all of these plays, all these picks, and we might even get some compensatories. So that's some good shit right there. Oh, there's Caitlin chiming in.
Caitlin bringing the major context here for everybody discussing the Micah Parsons trade to put it in totality. Thank you, Caitlin, for always bringing the context down there in Corpus Christi. Says, let's review the Parsons trade. Dallas gets a 2026 first-round pick, likely in the 28 to 32 spot. Kenny Clark, Quentin Williams, Packers got Parsons. Dallas gave up a second-round pick.
Oh, shit, you're right. Yeah. That second is gone. Is it this year's second or next year's second?
Next year, 2026, I believe.
Oh, man, okay. Whew. Yeah, well, that's some wheeling and dealing stuff right there, man. Believe me, you guys got to understand. This is, I don't want to talk like this is the biggest thing in the world, but this is sort of monumental for Jerry. We don't see these kinds of things happening.
That's what I said. We traded for George Pickens. We went out and got our backup quarterback in the offseason. We made a few little moves like the George Pickens. I was like, wow. But I thought he was going to be a decoy. I really thought our QB2 was going to be the probably the best addition. But Javonte Williams, we went out and got him. Like, they really did some work in the offseason, and now we're seeing the Cowboys, instead of doing nothing, they did a little bit of something here as we monitor the trade deadline going down today in less than an hour. So, Logan, you see right there, and Quentin over there added to the defense. I feel better today than I did yesterday about the defense.
Yeah. Yeah, I do too. I don't, again, and the good thing is that, we've got some time to chill now. So there's going to be some practicing going on. A lot of times you expect a player to jump from one team to another, start the next week and make an impact. I just don't think that happens a lot, man.
Both of these guys, I think that's key that you bring up, Bob, getting to learn the playbook, find out Eberflus system. Maybe this is the toy that Eberflus needed for all of his toys to work together, because I don't know what kind of fucking Toy Story he got going on over there, but we definitely need a Woody. Maybe Big Q is that Woody we need in the middle, especially with Osa, with Solomon. We got some big guys. Kenny Clark up on that front. We seen Sam Williams block a punt, little flash. We seen Ezaraku last night with his second sack. I mean, Cowboys got to put some shit together. And I think the Vegas game is a great chance for us to do that, because if we don't beat the Raiders and put it together, we're not going to put it together on that next 3-game stretch. And it's going to be bad. I'm like we used to say in the Navy, when we go to general quarters, like we're going to war and everybody got to put on their war suit, get ready. We're out at sea. You hear general quarters, everybody go to their spot. When they say missile inbound and they say brace for shock, that means get up on the wall and put your feet out like that, because when that missile hit, it's going to hurt the whole ship and you're going to go flying around. Yeah, we're going to have to brace for shock if we lose to the Raiders between Philadelphia, Kansas City, and Detroit, baby. Brace for shock.
Oh man, linebacker. Yeah, I mean, so again, we have to give Jerry some credit here, man. The year that he said he was all in, he wasn't, and then he f's around in the next year, so he decides to get all in on stuff. We're not talking about this real quick. Does anybody, comment section, BG, anybody out there in Cowboys world, do any of you folks think that maybe we're starting to see what George Pickens is really about after what happened last night? Now, I'm not trying to put any gas on the fire.
Nah, bro, he's been borderline the whole time. The refs have been really going light. You've seen even some of the refs push him out of the way. I'll pay attention to that whole type of stuff. But yeah, last night, the refs were just looking for opportunities. I think one person said that wasn't a fumble. Forward progress stopped on, one of the fumbles that we lost. And,
I got to beef with that too, man.
We can't blame the refs, but makes you go,
Let me tell you what makes me go home, and me and my wife yell about this all the time. I feel like every team that we play gets 10 yards of forward progress leeway, and they whistle us every single time after we take 2 steps and stop. I just feel like a lot of times, man, that they always let the other team that we're playing get a little bit more forward progress on their runs, man. I've seen so many of these plays happen with us this year where we should have been gotten a little bit more yardage, and they were like, no. Sorry, forward progress. Like, they whistle right away. But again, that falls under the conspiracy theory, and I don't like playing that. But it's exciting time right now, man. These players that are on our roster right now, there's no effing way anybody in this comment section, or even you and I, BG, could even predicted this is what the roster would have been made up of a year ago at this time. I mean,
hey, man, crazy. All I know is the injury opponent is real. It is a factor in the game, and the better staff can manage injuries, practice windows, practice squads. We know the Cowboys love to manipulate the practice squad and move people around, but it's really a managing attrition when it comes to injuries. You don't expect a player to go out, but when an injury happens, it's the next man up. How do you fix your scheme? How do you survive if that's the case? Like when Dak went out and we seen Cooper Rush step in, and go 4-1 or something like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just wow. You're right. We would have never predicted this, but the injury opponent is real. It's going to continue to be real. We're going to see teams continue to be affected even after the bye, because we still, like we said, whether you believe it or not, there's still hope. Not just even with today's trade, because like I said, we could lose to the Raiders in week 11 and we could beat the Eagles. That's a big if. But if we could beat the Eagles, who are number 1 in the NFC East right now, the Cowboys are sitting at number 2. We're still talking about who's going to win the NFC East. Now, if we get waxed by the Raiders and we get braced for shock with the Eagles, like I expect, then, yeah, it's going to be time to wave the white towel. The ship is about to sink. We're taking on water, baby. It is time to go swimming.
So Cowboys really the only ones in the conversation today. It looks like the Saints traded Rashid Shaheed to the Seahawks, which is insane.
Yeah,
I hope they got a lot for that. That's nuts.
Seahawks got more, especially with JSN now getting Rashid. He can take the top off of defenses. I mean, you got Sam Darnold over there now looking like Daniel Jones 2.0. I mean, I knew Daniel Jones was going to show up at some point. I think he threw a couple picks this week, and I think the Colts lost as a fact because wasn't that the Pittsburgh? I'm like, ain't no way. But I mean, Colts went out and got Sauce Gardner. They said, the hell with that. You know what I mean? As the Jets are literally on a fire sale.
Yeah, Colts are that's a tough team, man. Right? That's another one that a year from last year we weren't going to be like, yeah, Colts are going to dominate next year. But you know what? I got to say honestly, man. And by the way, to add to what I was talking about earlier with Pickens, I had some people tell me that, which is why I asked that. I don't believe that. I believe Pickens is still the dude. I believe he's a fiery guy. He's going to be like a Des Bryant. He's going to say some shit. He's going to do some shit because other people talk shit, but they're little tiny cornerbacks. They say it with their head turned so that you don't see it on television. Pickens is more a little loud about it, and him putting that ball might have been a reaction to that corner for the last 10 plays, going, "You ain't shit. You ain't shit." You know what I mean? Like we don't know. We can't hear that, but. He put the ball in the corner's face and then slickly gave it over to the ref. Knowing at that time he effed up, but I still think he's a massive talent. I really hope we decide to make some moves and keep that guy around without breaking the bank too hard on him.
Yeah. Speaking of Des Bryant, did you see Des Bryant in his suite last night at the game? He was getting a haircut by his barber. Watching the game, looked like he's literally killing 2 birds. With one stone, like, hey, I mean, might as well got to come into the office, and then might as well get a haircut while I'm here because makes sense, right? Ain't like we're going to celebrate a Cowboys win or nothing.
Oh, man.
Joe says, why would Carolina trade Rico when he's balling for them? Ooh, did Carolina traded Rico? Is that right? Let's go take a look.
I didn't see that. I think maybe that was a proposition, but at the same time, that's a good question. Why would you move on from him? Well, I mean, it depends on how much is being paid. How much?
He's talking about for Dallas. No, he said, why would Carolina trade Rico? Yeah, I don't know, but I think he's talking about if they trade him, but I don't see anything on the Googler just yet in case that might just be breaking. But yeah, that would be, I mean, the stock was up. I mean, it makes sense. They already paid Chuba Hubbard. That's their guy. They don't need a running back controversy like Jerry likes, but that would make sense if they did. I mean, the stock was up. The guy went 200 yards back to back. He definitely, his stock is going to go if he gets traded to another team. I mean, we've seen him with Dallas. He was the first undrafted rookie to rush for 1,000 yards. He was with Dallas for like 5 years, made his living on special teams until that last year when he finally broke it after Zach Martin exited the chat. Remember that?
Yeah. I know. You know what? I don't know. I think it's a little, the optics would not be good on us picking up or trading for a running back right now. I understand that Javonte had fumbled a ball last night, but I think if we do something like that and jump on that today, it would make Javonte feel like, oh shit, like that's me. I'm done now, but Rico went to the Chargers.
If he's saying he went to the Chargers, I mean, that makes sense because Amarion Hampton is not supposed to be coming back until about week 10. That rookie they drafted, he suffered an injury. He's been out. Only reason why I know is fantasy football. And then also, I mean, man, if he went to the Chargers, that means we got to see Rico twice, y'all, because we see the Chargers 12. We see them week 16, Bob.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Think about that. Maybe Rico's going to go a 2 for 2. Rico put up 200 yards with 2 different teams against the Dallas defense. Golly, I can only imagine the headlines. If that's true, Joe Tranchina, thanks for that context tapping in. But I don't see anything on the Googler right now.
Yeah, I don't see anything either. But again, we don't know if that's he could be coming to us. We don't know. I keep hearing Pollard coming back. I don't understand why everyone's so hardcore about getting running backs that we already had on our team at one point, but I don't know. That might not be the issue right now. I don't see a glaring need for a running back. Javonte is awesome.
No, I don't think we're trading. I don't think we're trading for one. I just think you're talking about the current trades that are going on around the league and things like that,
Yeah.
Bob. Yeah, clearly we got. I mean, I don't know, but there's been some news speaking of running backs about Blue maybe losing his opportunity at RB2. I mean, Miles Sanders out. We still got, Hunter Lipke, who, the Cowboys paid to stay at fullback. I think Cowboys playing with house money at this point. But Javonte Williams is still holding it down because, like you said, he was running the ball. That was the only offense we had going against the Cardinals, literally.
Yep, he was running it good, man. And if we just would have, I don't know, man. I don't know what it is. It's, you know what, man, I don't know. I guess I don't know enough about current football to understand it. I mean, obviously you don't keep running the ball. You do it enough to establish a play action, and you do it enough to make sure that people stay honest in their fits and everything. But at the same time, man, I feel like we get away from it a lot, man. We talk about so hard about, and every coach talks about wanting to be a run first team because that's how you establish your pass. But I don't know. I think it may be just lip service at this point.
Yeah, I'm just taking a look at some other stuff going around the league, seeing if there's any other big splashes that are going on. I think we pretty much covered maybe most of them, unless that Rico is just breaking. But yeah, that would be really crazy for Carolina to trace him. But like I said, if they did, they just paid Chuba Hubbard. I know that because I ran Chuba Hubbard in one of my leagues last year. And, you got a double back. Some teams like the two-back system, like a Detroit, Sonic and Knuckles and things like that. But some just believe, all right, we paid our guy our money. I mean, look at Dallas. We don't look we are essentially Javonte's earning his contract right now. He continues to trend. He's going to be at the table next year. We're going to have to pay Javonte. We're going to have to pay Aubrey. I mean, getting rid of Micah freed up a lot of stuff. Now, if we had kept Micah, bro, we're not talking about paying nobody. We're saying now Micah is like Dak. Oh, we paid him too much money. He's invested in Micah, and now we can't pay nobody.
We'd have been 3-5-1 with 4 sacks and a $48 million price tag. So I think it was smart. I was just texting with Mr. Avila out there in Odessa, Texas, and a good friend of mine, Rob's dad. And, he was like, you need to get back to the days of Parcells and Landry and Johnson. And I had to tell him, man, look, man, you got to get out of that. Those days are over, man. The game is glossy now. Things are a lot different. And we just don't, people like us that are our age need to find a way to get a grip with that. Young folks already come to a grip with it because they're not recognizing the past like we do. But we're so used to winning and doing great things and massive things that, we went through this lull and we're still in the middle of a big Super Bowl lull, but at least Jerry's making some effort.
That's what I'm saying. At least it's a little progress. Like we said, still could, this could be a small build for next year going into the draft, which is in Pittsburgh. I think Kels had told us we had 7 picks. Now I think we gave one away maybe at 6. I don't know. Compensatory still got to get thrown in there. But Kenneth Gaffney brings up a good point. Phil Maffa. Yeah, Phil Maffa has been on the injury reserve. And so he's slated to come back too. And maybe that's why we're hearing that on Jaden Blue, because now they're going to give Phil Maffa a chance. And he's a little bowling ball guy. He's a big guy, a bruiser back there. He's going to run tough just like Javonte Williams. But a great question, Kenneth. He's coming back off that IR. So again, Cowboys going into the bye week. We got nursing some injuries. We're trying to get some folks back. We've made a couple of trades here today. We still got about 30 minutes before the official trade deadline is dead. So I don't think maybe the Cowboys will do anything else. And if they do, we'll post it here to keep you updated. But we wanted to strike while the iron was hot and let you know the Cowboys went and got out some help. Might not be the best help. Well, maybe. Quentin Williams, I don't know. A lot of people got a lot of respect for Quentin Williams. I've been hearing people say his name. I've been hearing people say his name for quite a few years. How long has he been in the league now? He's young though. You said he's in his 20s, right?
If he's 27, then he probably is. He already did his rookie contract. I'd guess probably at least 6 years, maybe something like that.
Yeah. All right. So good veteran, bringing some leadership also to this defense. But hey, if you didn't get anything, and if you're not happy about anything that we talked about here today, I know there's one thing that you can be happy about, because that's all I've heard Cowboy fans talk about is trading Mozzie Smith, and Mozzie Smith has been shipped to the Jets as a result.
And Trayvon's still on the roster, guys.
And Trayvon is still on the roster. So y'all know this is a moving target. Bob, I appreciate you taking time from cooking, not burning the house down over there. I know you slanging stuff. You like to cook for real.
Yes, sir.
And I'm hungry now thinking about that. Now I'm like, man, I got to go get me something to eat. But Bob got me hungry. But we appreciate y'all tapping in with us on Facebook and YouTube. This is the trade deadline in Dallas and all of the deals going down. I'm happier today than I was yesterday. And that's about how I can sum it up, Bob.
Yeah, man, that game was tough to watch, man. Real tough to watch.
Yep. We're going into the bye week, so stay up to date for the bye week behavior. We got some real good stuff coming up this weekend on bye week behavior. But that's Bob over there. I'm BG. We're the Big Two. Shout out to Kels on the Big Three. We'll see y'all in the gym on the next episode.
Turn out the lights. The party's over. They say that all good things must end. Call it a night. The party's over. And tomorrow and next year starts the same old thing again.